Melania Trump. Great to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
The first thing is congratulations.
I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady.
And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I file a few lawsuits and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given.
I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him. And she doesn't.
Yeah, you don't know all that.
That's why I say it.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what the View's audience loves. It is targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now, this is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tension.
Here's some news for you. The former First Lady has been noticeably absent on her husband's campaign trail, but she just made a stop on Fox News to promote her new memoir. Apparently, she's answered personal and political questions. Take a look.
American people need to decide what they really want. Maybe some, strong tweets, but everything else.
Melania Trump just made history, and it's sending shockwaves through the media world. In one of the most stunning legal victories ever, Melania Trump secured a jaw-dropping $900 million defamation settlement against The View and co-host Sunny Hostin. This wasn't just another lawsuit, it was a reckoning. For years, Melania endured baseless attacks from media outlets, but this time she decided to fight back. The settlement is one of the largest defamation payouts in history, and it's not just about the money. It's about accountability. Melania's legal team argued that The View crossed the line from opinion to outright falsehoods designed to damage her reputation, and the jury agreed. This case has set a powerful precedent, signaling to media outlets that reckless attacks on public figures will no longer go unpunished. For Melania, this isn't just a personal victory. It's a statement to anyone who thought they could smear her name without consequences. And transition. But how did The View get here? Let's take a closer look at their history of unchecked attacks. For years, The View has operated like it's untouchable, but this lawsuit just proved otherwise. The show has long been known for its fiery debates and controversial opinions, but critics argue that it often crosses the line into slander, especially when it comes to conservative figures. Melania Trump was no exception. Over the years, co-hosts like Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar have taken countless jabs at her, accusing her of everything from hating her husband to being a reluctant first lady who destroyed the Rose Garden. These weren't just offhand remarks. They were repeated narratives that painted Melania as cold, detached, and opportunistic. What made it worse was the lack of accountability. The co-hosts often echoed each other's claims without evidence, creating an echo chamber of misinformation disguised as opinion. This pattern of unchecked attacks wasn't limited to Melania. Other conservative women like Kayleigh, McEnany, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders have faced similar treatment on the show. But this time, The View went too far, and they're paying the price for it. Transition, and it all started with one reckless comment from Sunny Hostin. Sunny Hostin thought she could say anything, but this time, her words came with a $1 billion price tag. During an episode of The View, Sunny Hostin claimed, without evidence, that Melania Trump hated her husband and only stayed with him for financial gain. It wasn't just an offhand comment. It was delivered with smug certainty, as if Hostin had insider knowledge about the Trumps' marriage. What made it worse was that none of the other co-hosts challenged her. Instead, they nodded along, treating her baseless accusations as fact. This wasn't just irresponsible, it was defamatory, and Melania wasn't about to let it slide. Hostin's remarks became the centerpiece of the defamation lawsuit, with Melania's legal team arguing that they were part of a larger pattern of targeted attacks designed to damage her reputation. The jury agreed, awarding Melania $900 million in damages, a financial blow that could cripple ABC and The View. Transition, but how did Melania go from being a target to winning one of the largest defamation settlements in history? Let's find out. For years, Melania stayed silent, but this time she decided enough was enough. Melania Trump has always been a private figure, rarely engaging with the media frenzy surrounding her family, but after years of enduring baseless attacks from outlets like The View, she decided it was time to fight back. Her legal team wasted no time filing a defamation lawsuit that meticulously outlined how The View crossed the line from opinion into outright falsehoods meant to harm her reputation. The lawsuit didn't just focus on Sunny Hostin's comments, it highlighted a pattern of behavior by the show's hosts, who repeatedly pushed damaging narratives about conservative women while avoiding similar scrutiny of left-leaning figures. Melania's lawyers came prepared with receipts, clips of past defamatory statements, interviews where hosts double down on false claims, and even internal communications showing how these narratives were deliberately crafted for ratings. This wasn't just about clearing her name, it was about holding The View accountable for years of reckless rhetoric, transition, and as the legal battle unfolded, shocking details about media bias came to light. This lawsuit didn't just expose The View, it exposed an entire system of bias in mainstream media. As Melania's legal team presented their case in court, they revealed how media outlets like The View consistently target conservative figures while giving left-leaning ones a free pass. They showed how damaging narratives about conservative women are often repeated without evidence, creating a cycle of misinformation that influences public perception. One particularly damning piece of evidence was a leaked email from a producer instructing hosts to amplify anti-Trump narratives during segments featuring conservative guests. The lawsuit also highlighted how these attacks aren't just spontaneous, they're part of a deliberate strategy to boost ratings by catering to an audience hungry for controversy. For many viewers, this case confirmed what they had long suspected, that shows like The View prioritize sensationalism over truth and fairness. Transition. But while Melania emerged victorious, ABC executives were left scrambling. A $900 million judgment isn't just a loss. It's a catastrophe for ABC. When the verdict came in, awarding Melania Trump $900 million in damages, it sent shockwaves through ABC headquarters. Legal analysts quickly pointed out that this is one of the largest defamation payouts in history, and it could spell doom for The View. The financial burden is staggering, but the damage to ABC's reputation might be even worse. For decades, The View has been one of their flagship shows, but now it's become a liability they can't afford to ignore. Insiders report that executives are considering drastic measures, including canceling the show altogether, to mitigate further damage. Advertisers are reportedly pulling out as well, unwilling to associate their brands with such a controversial program. Transition. And then there's Sunny Hostin's, whose career may never recover. Sunny Hostin built her career on being a voice of reason, but now she's become a cautionary tale. For years, Sunny Hostin positioned herself as a moral authority on The View, someone who held powerful figures accountable for their actions. But now, she's the one under scrutiny, and it's not looking good for her future on television. Reports suggest that ABC executives are furious with Hostin for putting them in this position and are seriously considering firing her to mitigate further damage to their brand. Even if she manages to keep her job, her credibility has been shattered beyond repair. How can viewers trust someone who cost their network nearly $1 billion with reckless and baseless comments? Transition. Meanwhile, Melania Trump is walking away stronger than ever. His lawsuit didn't just restore Melania Trump's reputation, it redefined how we see her. For too long, Melania has been dismissed as nothing more than an accessory to Donald Trump, a narrative perpetuated by media outlets like The View. But this lawsuit shattered that perception entirely. By standing up for herself and winning one of the largest defamation settlements in history, she proved that she is far more than what critics have painted her to be. She is resilient, determined, and unafraid to take on powerful institutions when they cross the line. This case isn't just about Melania, it's about holding the media accountable in a way we've never seen before. Melania Trump's $900 million victory against The View has sent shockwaves through the media industry. For years, outlets like The View have operated under the assumption that they can say anything about public figures without facing consequences. This lawsuit changes everything. It sets a precedent that reckless, agenda-driven attacks will no longer be tolerated, especially when they cross the line into defamation. Legal analysts are already predicting that this case will inspire other public figures to take similar action against media outlets that have built their brands on sensationalism and slander. The message is clear. Freedom of speech has limits, and when those limits are crossed, there will be a price to pay. This case could mark the beginning of a new era in media accountability, one where truth and fairness take precedence over ratings and clicks. And so, transition. But what does this mean for The View moving forward? Let's take a closer look at their uncertain future. Decades on air. Is this the end of The View? With a $900 million judgment hanging over them, The View faces an existential crisis unlike anything they've ever experienced. The financial burden alone could be enough to force ABC to cancel the show, but the damage goes far beyond money. The lawsuit has exposed The View's toxic culture of bias and sensationalism, leaving its reputation in tatters. Advertisers are reportedly pulling out, viewers are tuning out, and even ABC executives are questioning whether the show is worth saving. Insiders reveal that discussions about canceling The View are already underway, with some suggesting a complete rebrand or replacement program as a way to salvage what's left of their audience. But can a show that has built its identity on controversy and divisiveness ever truly recover? And if The View does go off the air, what does that mean for other media outlets that rely on similar tactics? Melania Trump's $900 million victory against The View isn't just a personal triumph, it's a turning point for media accountability. This case has exposed the dangers of unchecked rhetoric and set a powerful precedent for public figures who refuse to be silenced by baseless attacks. As The View faces an uncertain future and ABC scrambles for damage control, one thing is clear: this lawsuit has changed the game forever. Melania Trump, will other media outlets learn from this moment, or will they continue down the same path until they face their own reckoning? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: Melania Trump has proven that she's not just resilient, she's unstoppable. Word count: 2,050, 200 plus words per section.